Hi, I'm Haley Page, and this is my video explaining what I saw during observing a classroom at Dardanelle Primary in Dardanelle, Arkansas. Dardanelle Primary is a school for only grades kindergarten through 3rd. It has mostly a middle to upper class socioeconomic student population. There are a little over 700 students in attendance. The minority rate is 36%. The chart on the screen now shows a breakdown of those minority groups. In my time here, I observed a 2nd grade classroom. This classroom had 21 students. The teacher I observed was a mix between authoritarian and authoritative styles. She had many rules in her classroom. Some were explained to the students and for their benefit, but some weren't, and they were just for her benefit. If I were this teacher, I would consider taking a closer look at my rules and try to go full-on authoritative style. I'd rewrite my rules until they have student-benefiting reasons behind each of them. This will make my classroom a happier place. A typical day in this classroom is for students to sit and listen to the teacher and then work on the worksheets she gives them. This is standard protocol for most of their entire day, other than when they go to activity. Students in this classroom are allowed to talk when they have finished their work, but not during it. There's not a lot of group work in this classroom, so often their conversations are not education related. If this were my classroom, I'd think about incorporating more of Vygotsky's theory of peer learning into the instruction. That way I would be able to include more group activities and see the peers feed off each other and learn from each other. Another thing the teacher could have done more of, according to Vygotsky, is having children work within their ZPD. Working in groups would have helped improve this because she could have grouped children according to their learning levels and had them challenge each other inside of their own zone of proximal development. Students at this age are moving into the early stages of Piaget's concrete operational phase, where they are starting to understand time, space, and quantity. My teacher definitely touched on these concepts in lessons with the students, lessons such as learning money and time and AM and PM. Students in this stage are moving out of having heteronomous morality, meaning that they don't see rules as plainly black and white anymore. My teacher catered to this by giving the students options and freedom to make choices on things like whether to read or work on homework or talk to each other. According to Kohlberg, this is an important time to improve and work on students' socio-emotional status and encourage friendships. My teacher did this by not always being so strict on the no talking rule and letting students read in partners. Kohlberg also talks about praising wisely. I saw my teacher do this a lot. She always acknowledged students' effort and not just performance. She would call these things praises or critiques out loud in class though. According to Erikson, students at this age struggle with their thoughts, so announcing these critiques aloud in class may cause some students to start to develop inferior feelings. Erikson claims that if students don't feel inferior, they feel a pull towards industry. This means that if students don't feel inferior, they will work really hard towards a goal presented them. My teacher did a good job of presenting the students with goals such as AR, dojo, and clip chart drawings. Getting lessons into students' long-term memory is also a really important goal to have as a teacher. To do this, you must start by engaging all 5 senses of the students. My teacher did a good job of this when she was doing science experiments with the students. One experiment I remember in particular was when they figured out what would happen when they put an egg in vinegar. Boy, that really touched on the smell sense. Rehearsal is another big part of storing things into your long-term memory. My teacher did really well on this. In fact, this is the area where I believe she taught best. This method is where you mostly review, but you add on a little more new content each day. For example, when my teacher was teaching money, she'd teach them about quarters one day, and only quarters. The next day, she'd add in dimes, but still talk and teach a lot on quarters. In conclusion, from my observation time, I learned that the methods we learned in class are truly applicable to the classroom, and that I should keep these theories in mind for my own teaching philosophy.